there's another land grab. It's something over 1,000 acres of size, so several square miles of land that is in the West Bank for the expansion of settlements. And this is in the area, they say, where the 3 kidnapped teenagers went missing. So they make a connection to that. When this news is coming out, you wonder, why this? Why now? Well, there's a ceasefire with the hostilities in Gaza calming down a little bit after much carnage and destruction, and now there's going to be a lot of rebuilding. So whoever gets those contracts is going to be happy. Whoever get the yahoos off and did the military intervention, that's what they live for, so they're happy. But for other lives that have been ruined, people that have been displaced, the refugee situation apparently is very horrible. And now more refugees will be caused, and this time not in Gaza but in the West Bank. Now, what does all this mean in terms of Israel, the so-called fabled prophetic kingdom of the world, the kingdom of the Messiah to come, the world to come, the future of the whole divine plan, if it is that? Well, on one hand you would say, ideally, if all that's true, then more power to them. They should expand. Israel should go and consume the rest of the Middle East and beyond. It should just keep expanding. Just like now the propaganda is saying that the Islamic State, ISIS or ISIL, by the way, notice the connection to the goddess Isis. That's not a mistake. They make these acronyms for a reason, like Al-Qaeda and so on and so forth. Well, the premise of that is that it's an Islamic force that's motivated to grab land and expand this thing that they call a caliphate. That's their kingdom. So Israel, in the Jewish sense of things, where they give themselves the divine right and the authority, they can expand their kingdom also. So a few thousand acres, it's not that much. Little by little, they're taking, just like they took from Syria up in the Golan Heights around Mount Hermon. Obviously they want that, they're going to keep it. That's where all the water's from, the mine. You need that for expansion, for feeding your population. They'll never give that back. Not willingly. But look at the refugee situation from the Gaza side on the Mediterranean between Israel and Egypt. Look at the West Bank side between, that's the West Bank of the Jordan River, between Israel and the country Jordan. And then you have the whole situation up in Syria where there's millions of refugees, apparently. And then you have in between all the other countries, which is supposedly like a Kurdistan type of thing, the Kurdish, up in that hinterland, up toward Armenia, between Turkey, Iraq, and Iran. There's tons of refugees there. So there's refugees all over the place. And you go a little bit further north above the Black Sea, tons of refugees between east and west of formerly Ukraine, going where, I don't know. Statements now coming from Germany, officials there are saying that effectively Russia's at war with the EU, the European Union. So we're seeing this push toward a repeat of World War II. Like, no lessons were learned, we're going to keep doing this again. The warmongers are going to continue to capitalize and to profit on this, profiteering and conquering and dividing. By the way, I should say the whole propaganda and the reason for creating this bogeyman of the ISIL, is because you divide and conquer. It's the purpose that the Shiite and the Sunni of the South, mostly gravitating around the Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia, will never get along, and therefore they can never stop the intervention from the outside, the foreign powers, the imperial, the Western, the NATO. So Moshiach is thinking these things over as he's coming into power, and Moshiach is wondering where the pieces are all going to fall and making a decision very, very carefully based on all the facts and seeing through. Not looking at the candy coating, but seeing exactly what's going on so that judgment can be measured out and it can be delivered. That's the purpose that's going to be coming. So when it has to do with Israel, the state of Israel, let me remind you in conclusion here, is that this is not the first time that the Jewish state has been acting like Third Reich. Because during the time of Yeshua, who's known by Christianity as Jesus Christ colloquially in the mainstream, this guy, this little guy here, was being pushed around by a puppet regime under the Herodian family, the Herodian dynasty, Herod the Great, who remade the temple and made it all fancy and disgusting and filthy and unholy. These people were certainly pushing around everybody else. And you got to wonder who's really in charge of the so-called state of Israel flying the Star of David flag. Anyone can use symbols, anyone can use names. Jesus said in the Bible, in the Gospel, says very pointedly that these are Jews, but these are ones of the synagogue of Satan. They say they're Jews, but they are not. So, understand those who have wisdom. You'll know what I'm talking about. Thanks for listening, everybody. Amen. Blessings on you. Give me much love from where I am. We are connected. Stay tuned and do all the things you got to do on YouTube. I hate YouTube, by the way. And do I look like Anderson Cooper to you?